Hello, it's Coach Deanne with Fruit of Your Labor Coaching. Today we're going to talk about continuous glucose monitors. Continuous glucose monitors are an amazing invention to me. I have had several friends. My mom was a diabetic. I've got several friends and have known several kids who are type 1 diabetics as well as type 2 diabetics. What a revelation this technology has been for so many. And now there are opportunities for those of us who are not diabetic to be able to use them to determine how our bodies work. There's been some controversy from people saying, that people who are not diabetic shouldn't be using them. I'm going to tell you from my perspective, I have found that I am insulin resistant. And I have used this to help me see how my body processes foods and drinks in order to hopefully and ideally prevent ever becoming a diabetic. So, I think for preventative purposes, I think they can be a crucial part of one's health journey. So I'm going to tell you there have been a lot of things that I have discovered when wearing them that I had no idea they were affecting my blood sugar. I felt fine. I didn't notice any differences. So when I first started wearing them last summer, I was shocked at some of the things that I was eating that were on plan, that were within the guidelines, and I thought everything was fine. And I have put on weight over this last year, partly just due to hormones, but mostly I'm going to say due to stress. For those of you who are aware, my dad is struggling with Alzheimer's, and that's been a very stressful part of my last year or two. So I am always continually looking at what I can do to better manage my stress, as well as just improve my health. And I can tell you that's one of the things I first noticed with the continuous glucose monitor is even when my food was great and my blood sugar was here, issues with my dad, if he was having a bad day, having some sundowners, different things that were just very stressful, my blood sugar would spike like crazy. I had no idea that that's what was happening. I had no idea. I mean, I felt stress, of course, but I had no idea that internally that was impacting things, because in my mind, only food and drink is what really caused that blood sugar to spike. So that was kind of a big revelation for me. And I'm happy to say that after wearing several of these and managing things, I now can, visit dad when he's having a stressful day or a bad day or sundowning or, things like that. And certainly I can feel some stress, but my blood sugar does not spike. So that in itself is huge progress in my mind, because the more spikes you have, you're kind of almost like aging more quickly, I guess is the way I would say it, because you're stressing your body with those spikes, with every spike you have. So it's been very insightful to me. I also learned that even my kombucha that I make homemade that I love, I was having a little bit too much of that with my e-meals. The carbs in my kombucha combined with the carbs in my e-meals were just too much for my body to process. So I continue to drink my kombucha. I've got another video on that I was able to look at a refractor tool and very easily, very simply, and in my opinion, inexpensively determine the sugar content of my kombucha. And that helped me to kind of look at how to decrease those amounts so that I can still enjoy it, but I'm not causing spikes in my blood sugar. So certainly take a look for that video on my channel if you haven't seen it yet and you're interested. So today for the continuous glucose monitor, I use Levels, Levels. It is a membership where you can get the CGMs. CGMs are by prescription, so you can certainly work with your doctor, but if you are not diabetic, or even if you're pre-diabetic, insurance doesn't seem to pay for those. So you can always check on your own with your own plans and your doctors and see what you can find out. That was my experience. So I ended up going to the Levels app, and I was on a G6, a Dexcom G6 last year. Again, I don't wear it all the time. They last for about 10 days each. So I'll wear one and then I'll go without for a while. But if I have different or new foods or recipes or things like that, I will often wear it just to kind of test things out and see where they're at. So I want to just give you a little bit of information today because it's hard to go into all of it. But I want to give you a little bit of information and show you what it looks like for those of you who haven't seen them and are interested. If you're squeamish, you may want to look away for just a little bit. This is the size of the new Dexcom G7. It's teeny tiny. Like if you compare that to the size of my hand, that kind of gives you a better idea. But it has, and this is the squeamish part, it has this little filament, which I don't know if you can see. Yeah, there. And that's what actually pokes into your arm or wherever you put it. I typically put mine on the back of my arm. I've learned on the outside of my arm, I would rub things on it or I would sleep on it. So I put it more on the underside of my arm and I don't seem to have any issues with it. So for the new G7, comes in a little box, super easy. So you get a little tube like this, container. You simply screw the lid off. That's what's inside. And then you put it on your arm and you push this button and it's done. You have to have the app and you have to start it and it warms up in, pairs and all of that stuff. But then you can track. It will show you your blood sugar. It's going to track it and show you when you have spikes. You can set alerts so that it will alert you at certain intervals depending on how high or low your blood sugar goes. You're really looking for, in my opinion, you're looking for trends. You want to see what foods are impacting you, what meals are impacting you. I previously enjoyed full e-meals and I felt fine, but my blood sugar wasn't fine. So I realized now I need those pulled back E's, S helpers, because you certainly don't want to stick with just S meals because then your pancreas isn't going to be working properly. So you want to make sure you're getting those good carbs in. For me, I have found that certainly doing my veggies first and then my protein and then any carbs are the best way for my body to process. And if I'm having like a pulled back E, then I'll do some of that apple cider vinegar prior to my meal. And sometimes I do it all the time, but definitely before I'm going to have those good carbs. But once you get to eating your veggies first and you're getting your veggies in at every meal, we've talked about this in a lot of my gut health stuff, that once you start eating those, your bacteria, they're being fed, they're getting stronger, the good bacteria, and they're going to want more. So you're going to start craving those veggies. So if you don't love veggies now, I really encourage you, find some veggie that you like or can tolerate and really start eating it and getting a lot of it in there. And then you're going to start craving that. Like Coach Mary Beth says, you want your BBOV, your big bag of veggies. Take them with you everywhere. Always enjoy those. Like I said, I do mine before my meal because that gives you kind of a layer of fiber in your stomach, and that's going to help decrease the impact of those carbs on your blood sugar. So I hope that was helpful. I'll put some information to the Levels app in the comments. There's a lot of different companies and things out there now doing CGMs. The prices, they're not cheap, unfortunately. I don't know that they'll get cheaper. I hope so. But there are different companies that will send them to you and you have, less time with them, or they'll just send you one or two. It all depends on what you want to do. So please, I encourage you to take a look at the different options out there. I can only tell you what I've used thus far. If you are using something, I would love to hear if you'll post in the comments what you're using and how you like that particular service. I know a lot of them do use the Dexcom G7. And there's certainly some others out there. I can't think of the name of it. Libra, one of them. Anyway, so I hope that was helpful. If you have questions, please post those. Always looking to, just kind of give some information to help you along in your journey and help you to personalize your journey. I love gadgets and I love data. So if there's anything that you have heard or seen out there that you are interested in helping you in your journey, but you're kind of hesitant and wondering what it's about, let me know. Might be happy to try it out for you. All right, ladies, have a good afternoon.